Johnny Thunder is one of the most popular minifigures of all time, which means his lore goes pretty deep. He's been in everything from stickers, minifigure packs, video games, and even the Legoland theme park. So today, I'll be showing you as much of his lore as I could find, starting with his appearance in the Lego movie back in 2014. Johnny wasn't a main character in the movie at all, so to find him, you have to look very closely at the Cuckoo Land scene, specifically at the part where Emmett gets shoved into the dog to assemble all the master builders. Right when Emmett's at the door, you can see a man with a very familiar Australian hat walking inside, but this isn't proof of anything yet. For that, just skip forward a few seconds, and you'll see the same guy taking a seat inside the doll, and that is without a doubt Johnny Thunder. But here's where it gets funny. He doesn't actually get to do anything cool. When the super secret police attack Cloud Cuckoo Land, Johnny Thunder pretty much gets trampled by the Orb of Titleist, so he's only on screen for like 2 seconds. But even though he got absolutely destroyed, fans didn't care. Just seeing him again after so long was enough to make them happy. But Lego kept going, because right after the movie came out, they released the Super Secret Police Dropship set, which comes with a Johnny Thunder minifigure, the first one since 2003. So of course people lost their minds over it. But what's really cool is how much they updated his design. The original Johnny Thunder from the late 90s and early 2000s had that classic Lego face with the simple dot eyes. But this 2014 version, he's got pupils now, which gives him way more personality. He's also got back printing on his torso, which the original never had, and the overall detail is just so much better. Anyways, after he showed up in the Lego movie, Lego clearly wasn't done with him. In 2015, they released the Scooby-Doo Mummy Museum mystery set, and hidden inside was a portrait of Johnny Thunder. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would he be in a Scooby-Doo set? Well, the set takes place in a museum with a mummy mystery, so having an old-timey explorer like Johnny Thunder actually makes perfect sense. The portrait shows him holding a diamond with a biplane flying overhead, and at the bottom it says 1922, which gives it that classic adventurer's vibe. It's pretty easy to miss, but speaking of Easter eggs that are easy to miss, let's talk about the Ninjago City Dock set from 2018. Now, if you know anything about the big Ninjago City sets, you know they're absolutely loaded with references to old Lego themes. But one of the Johnny Thunder ones is this billboard on the outside of the arcade that says Thunder Adventure Tours. The billboard shows Johnny Thunder and set 5935, the Island Hopper, which was one of the original Adventurer sets from way back in the year 2000. So not only are they referencing the character, but they're also referencing a specific set from over 20 years ago. But wait, the Ninjago City Dock set has another Johnny Thunder reference, and this one is hidden way better than the billboard. If you go inside Runday's house and lift up the removable top bunk bed, you'll find a signed photograph of Johnny Thunder just sitting there underneath. And get this, the photo isn't even of the classic Johnny Thunder design from the Adventurers theme. It's actually of the Jungle Explorer from CMF Series 19, which came out in 2019, a whole year after City Docks. So Lego was basically future-proofing this Easter egg by using a design that hadn't even been released yet and foreshadowing a brand new Johnny Thunder design at the same time. But the fact that they hid this under a bunk bed is what makes it so perfect. Like, you have to actively take the set apart to find it. But now let's actually talk about that Jungle Explorer minifigure, because this is a pretty big moment in Johnny Thunder's history. In 2019, Lego released the collectible Minifigure Series 19 pack, and one of the figures inside is called the Jungle Explorer. Now, technically, Lego never officially said that this was Johnny Thunder. They didn't put his name on the packaging, they didn't mention him in any promotional material, nothing. But come on, it's so obviously him. They basically just took everything from his old design and made it slightly different so they could keep his name out of it. Obviously, people started calling him Johnny Thunder anyway, even though Lego was being vague about it. But I think I know why Lego did this. They wanted to bring the character back without fully committing to reviving the Adventurers theme. Like, if they officially called him Johnny Thunder, people would expect more Adventurers sets, more characters, maybe even a whole new wave. But by keeping it vague and just calling him the Jungle Explorer, they could test the waters. And honestly, people loved it. But let's go back to Ninjago for a minute, because this guy actually got referenced in the Ninjago City Garden set in 2021. One of the posters in this set shows the Jungle Explorer, a woman, and a monkey finding a golden crystal in the jungle. The Ninjargon translates to Adventure Island, coming soon. So even though this set is almost 5 years old, Lego might still have something planned for him. But this set also has a reference to the origin of Johnny Thunder, and I don't mean the Adventurers theme. To find it, you have to go to the gift shop attached to the museum, and inside you can find a tile with someone who kind of looks like Johnny Thunder, but isn't. Obviously, we all know he's based on Indiana Jones, but that's not who this is either. This is actually Niels Milan Peterson, a Lego designer who created the Adventurers theme. We all have this man to thank for giving us one of the most goated minifigures in Lego history. So I wonder why he's in the gift shop and not the actual museum. Anyways, there's one last Johnny Thunder appearance I want to show you in Ninjago, and it's in the Ninjago City set from 2017. One of the buildings in this city is a comic book shop, so along with selling comics, the store also sells trading cards. All of these cards are references to different themes, but the one in the top left is clearly supposed to be Johnny Thunder. This is one of the most subtle references by far, but if you thought that was cool, just wait until you hear about the Haunted House set from 2020, because it's themed around Baron Von Baron's cursed mansion. Now, if you know anything about the Adventurers theme, you already know who Baron Von Baron is. He's Johnny Thunder's arch nemesis. Like, literally every adventure Johnny Thunder went on, the Baron was there trying to steal the treasure or sabotage him. So this entire Haunted House set is filled with artifacts that the Baron stole over the years. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this set is packed with references. First, there's the Rigo Ruby, which is one of the most iconic treasures from the Adventurers theme. Then there's a Sphinx head that's directly from set 5978, which was a part of the Egypt sub-theme. There are Anubis heads from set 5938, and there are even references to Pharaoh Hotep, who is another major villain in the Adventurers theme. So even though Johnny Thunder himself isn't physically in this set as a minifigure, his presence is absolutely everywhere. Instead of putting Johnny Thunder in the set, they made the entire thing about his relationship with his enemy. This set is about his past, but the Dino theme is about his future. LEGO released this theme in 2012, and it was all about exploring jungles and finding dinosaurs. The main character of this theme is Josh Thunder, and at first you might think the last name is just a coincidence, but it's not. In the LEGO book from 2012, LEGO actually confirmed that Josh Thunder is a direct descendant of Johnny Thunder. They even designed him with similar facial features and outfit styling, so it's clearly intentional. But here's the thing, the Dino theme only lasted for 1 year. It came out in 2012 and was gone by 2013, so most people probably forgot Josh Thunder even existed. It was a cool way to keep him relevant, but if we're gonna talk about relevance, then I need to talk about Legoland. Since 2008, multiple Legoland parks around the world have had this interactive dark ride called Lost Kingdom Adventure. You're riding through ancient ruins, shooting lasers at targets, and helping the main character fight off bad guys and recover lost treasures. And guess who the main character is? Yup, it's Johnny Thunder. He shows up throughout the whole ride, and the entire story revolves around his adventures. But here's what's really cool. They kept his design exactly the same for this ride, which means kids who visit Legoland get to meet the man in all of his glory. So even though the Adventurers theme ended over 20 years ago, Johnny Thunder has been a part of Legoland for almost 17 years now. But let's jump to 2022, because the Atari 2600 set has one of the most subtle Johnny Thunder references I've ever seen. Obviously, this set is a build of the classic console, but inside there's a minifig scale version of a kid's room from the 1970s. On the wall, there's this stickered poster that looks like an Indiana Jones movie poster, but if you look closely, it's actually Johnny Thunder. Now, here's why this makes so much sense. Indiana Jones debuted in 1981, and Johnny Thunder is basically LEGO's version of Indy. They're both adventurers, they both explore ancient ruins, they both fight bad guys and recover treasures. They're basically the same guy. However, LEGO couldn't actually put Indiana Jones in the set because of licensing issues, but they could use Johnny Thunder as a stand-in reference. And honestly, it's perfect. If you're not paying attention or you don't know your LEGO lore, you might look at it and be confused by the name, so it actually works really well. Another modern set where our goat snuck in is in the Monkey Kid City of Lanterns set from 2022, and it has another reference that's super easy to miss. Just like the Ninjago City docks, there are references to old LEGO themes everywhere, but one that specifically connects to Johnny Thunder is in the LEGO store section of the set. There's a sticker that shows the box art for set 5988, Pharaoh's Forbidden Ruins, which was part of the Adventurers Egypt sub-theme. Now, obviously, this is directly connected to Johnny Thunder's lore, since he was the main character of that entire theme. But what's cool is that this sticker is just one of many references to classic LEGO sets. It's surrounded by other box art stickers, so it's not like Johnny Thunder is the main focus. But for the fans of the Adventurers theme, it's a nice little reminder that LEGO hasn't forgotten about it. Alright, so now I want to talk about one of the most interesting references on this entire list, and that's the museum curator in the Natural History Museum set from 2023. This guy is actually Dr. Kilroy, and even though LEGO never officially said that this was true, it's pretty obvious. He's got the round glasses, the facial hair, and of course the red bow tie. And if you know anything about the Adventurers theme, Dr. Kilroy is Johnny Thunder's uncle and partner. He showed up in a bunch of the original Adventurers sets, especially set 7415, the Aero Nomad, and the museum curator looks almost almost identical to that version of him. But Dr. Kilroy isn't the only Adventurers character who made a comeback in 2023. The Orient Express set has Pippin Reed as one of the passengers. Now again, LEGO never officially confirmed that this is Pippin Reed, but come on, it's so obvious. In the Adventurers theme, she was Johnny Thunder's photojournalist partner. She was always documenting his adventures and taking pictures of all the cool stuff they discovered, so including a pen with her makes perfect sense. And just like with Dr. Kilroy, this is another if you know Easter egg, so it's definitely not for everyone. But now let's talk about 2024, because this is when Johnny Thunder made his official return to LEGO, or should I say his 2019 counterpart did. First up is the Jungle Explorer ATV set, which funnily enough is in a sub-theme named after the Johnny Thunder lookalike. So LEGO really is doing everything but bringing back the Adventurers theme. This is the smallest of the 3 Jungle Explorer sets that came out in 2024, and it comes with a minifigure, an ATV, and a red panda habitat. Obviously, this is the same minifigure as the one from CMF Pack 19. I mean, they have the exact same name. But like I said, this isn't the only set he's in from 2024. He's also in the Jungle Explorer off-road truck set. This is one of the mid-sized sets in the Jungle Explorer wave, and it has the exact same Johnny Thunder minifigure as the ATV set. LEGO kept this little sub-theme going into this year, but none of the other sets have this minifigure. So even though LEGO obviously wants to live out their dreams of bringing back Adventurers, they have to do it in such a small way that they can't even put Johnny Thunder in every set. But what piece of Johnny Thunder lore surprised you the most? Be sure to let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.